So Jed is, it looks like he's going off a robot script right now. He's walking around, there's a ranger in the room, and I think the script is broken. He's not sure what to do. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. We got another episode of Theater of Blood Learner, and we brought back the legend himself, Jed. Now, I'm expecting big things from my man, and we're just going to analyze his gameplay a little bit. We're going to see what he has improved on and what he can still improve on. So, going to take it a little bit more harsh on him this time. Last time it was his very first KC, and this time he has 2 under his belt. So, let's see how he does. So immediately he goes for the scythe on the solo crabs, which is something that is actually very good. And I didn't even have to tell him to do this, so I'm really happy with that. Unfortunately, my South Major, which is Kaoj, he is a returning customer. He misses crabs, so he's making it a blood festival around here, and that's unfortunate, especially when you have a learner who is trying to dodge blood and all that. So I asked Jed if he wants to skip, and I don't even think he understands what skipping is, but he says sure. So I'm gonna give him a point for being a badass. Okay, cool. Now we got our freezing. Looks like freezing goes a little bit better this time. And poor Jed is trying to dodge all of the bloods that are from the leaked crabs. So I'm gonna take it a little bit easier on him for this maiden because of that. So I tell him to not attack the crabs, and this is because we're skipping, which essentially means that you do not kill the crabs and you rather put all the damage onto the boss. So here he's getting ragged by blood like crazy. He's brewing up a little bit, and it looks like he's attacking the crabs, which is not good, right? We just told him that we don't want him to do that. So he goes to the T-bow, and then ideally he melee. Oh my goodness. He does a nice little melee switch, goes in. Hopefully we can get the skip here before the crabs heal Maiden. And we get the skip. Very nice. I'm happy that he switched to melee. That possibly could have been the difference between getting the skip and not getting the skip. So that was really good, and point for Jed. Let's go. Next up we have Bloat. Now, if I can recall last video, what were some problems with Bloat? I think he got, maybe too many flies. He went into Bloat's view of vision and he flied his team, which is obviously not ideal. And something else that we're looking for is trying not to miss too many ticks. So, not running away from Bloat too early, as well as not running too early and flying the whole team. So, hopefully he enters and does some special attacks, whether that's from the Chally or the D-Claws. Both of them are good. So it looks like he starts off with the Chally. So if you're going to start off with the Chally, you're most likely going to do Chally, 3 Scythe, Chally. And hopefully he ends with the Chally. And it looks like he does not, which is not ideal. I think that's going to be my catchphrase, not ideal, because I say that a lot. So I mentioned this in the other video, but you want to make your last hit be with the Chally because it has such a long cooldown to attack again. And I think he used his last hit as a scythe, which is not ideal. So here Jed goes a little ambitious, flies the team a little bit, but not too bad. Unfortunately, he's a little late, but nothing that I'm going to complain about, Oh my goodness, he just did a little bit of a Chally poke. That's not ideal, but not too bad. Could have been the difference between getting a 2 down and a 3 down Bloat. But, misclicks happen. There's probably a lot going through his head. And, yeah, honestly, not too bad so far for Bloat. Could be a lot worse. And I'm glad he's at high HP. I think this man packed a lunch, and he has probably 10 or 12 brews in his inventory. Which I kind of prefer, because if you're not brewing up and you are dying, then there's going to be less opportunity to be alive and actually learn the mechanics of the boss, right? If you're dead, you're not getting that that hands-on experience. So I'm happy that he brings a lot of brews and is, safing. Let's just put it straight. He's safing, you know? Triple eating, quadruple eating, all of that. He's safing. Now, Jed's Jed's Nilo last time was a little bit inefficient. I don't think he knew he was melee roll, and he started with his T-bow. So here he has his ham joint out, which is already a very, very good start. Now, something that I want to see from Jed is using his scythe. Incorporating your scythe a little bit. Last time, I think he just used the ham joint the whole time. And you're going to want to bring your scythe for a couple of reasons. One is for the bigs. So if you want to kill a big melee, then you want to switch to your scythe. And the other reason is because some of the waves, there will be two small melees coming together. And if you scythe it, then you can kill both of them at once. I'll try to point that out. That's coming up pretty soon. Now, another thing I want to see from Jed is you want to stay on one side of the room. And your meleeer, because there's two meleeers, the other melee guy should be on the other side of the room. And it looks like Jed is kind of just running around the room sporadically. So here is the example of when you want to take out your scythe. And my friend Kaoj does it, but Kaoj unfortunately doesn't. Now, another thing that is important that I was just trying to talk about is the fact that you want to stay on one side of the room. And the reason for that is because you are using a 3-tick weapon. And essentially, if you are running across the room, that will often take more than 3 ticks, and you will be losing attacks in the long run. So try to stay on one side of the room and focus all of the melees on that side. And if there are no melees, then that's a great opportunity to either take out a blowpipe or maybe your sang and to hit some mages or rangers. Now, he goes and ham joints the bigs, which I already hashed on. That's not ideal. But other than that, he's not doing half bad. He really is not doing half bad. He's not doing crazy gear switches and really you're just gonna try to do one-way switches. So you don't need to put on your mage gear if you're gonna switch to your sang. Just do the sang. That's really all you need. I'm also happy that he's attacking the aggros. Until you get a little bit more experienced, the best protocol is to just attack the aggros, and I think I say good job because he does that. While you're learning, it's important to kill the aggros, otherwise they can kind of pile up and you can take a lot of damage. So here, this is the time of cleanup, so something you want to focus on is killing all the bigs and making sure all of them are smalls. And I can tell you why that's important in another video, but basically you don't want bigs to pop late, otherwise it will delay the room because they will then turn into smalls. So Jed is, it looks like he's going off a robot script right now. He's walking around, there's a ranger in the room, and I think the script is broken. He's not sure what to do. Now, I'm also concerned because he's walking around. Maybe he was organizing his inventory, but I'd assume you're standing still if you're organizing your inventory. So another thing I want to see from Jed is scything the boss and not using your ham joint. I think we got a couple of those last time. And the other thing I want to see is, nice simple switches, not attacking the boss with the wrong attack style, and trying to get 2 attacks per cycle. The attack or the threshold, Nylo switches every 10 ticks. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if Nylo switches every 10 ticks, that means you can always get 2 attacks with the T-bow, 2 attacks with the scythe, and 2 attacks with your magic weapon. So, that is something that you want to be doing. Looks like he mages, and hopefully switches to his scythe. Looks like he does a mage on the melee cycle, and then nice, gets the mage off. Second mage, so now he should switch to melee. Does another mage. So it looks like he's a little bit late. And, that's common because you're not exactly sure. Ooh, he does a little Scyther. Ooh, a little back-to-back Scyther on the Ranger. Something we don't like to see. That is not ideal. But something that you're going to learn is that just kind of how many attacks you can get off. So ideally, you do 2 attacks and then you just switch. And you always want to do to the next most favorable cycle. So Scythe is always going to be your most favorable cycle. So always switch to your Scythe after you do your 2 attacks. So 2 Sangs into your Scythe because you want it to go back to melee. Now, Jed, I want to see here that you're trying to get more of the correct prayers on. I remember last time he was getting his prayer turned off a decent amount because he was missing the orbs. So it looks like he double hammered, which is not something, it's not ideal. And you should basically say your roll before you enter Sot. And the rolls are 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, and then back up in a 4-man. So you only hammer on your designated roll. So if you're 1-2, you only hammer on phase 1 and phase 2. And don't do anything more, don't do anything less. Looks like Jed is the maze runner here. Not too bad, it's a little slow, but as long as we don't get tornadoed, I cannot complain. Yeah, that was pretty good. No damage to your team. He did the maze correctly, went on the correct tiles. Yeah, not bad for a 2K seer. So another thing that he's doing, which is a recurring theme, is he's nice and high HP, which is good. I'm going to try to point that out many times during the video because when you're learning, you need to save. Just keep your HP high. You bring in plenty of brews, you might as well use them. Click yellow. Click yellow. And now it's my maze. Always go to tile 1 and then to tile 3. You should wait a couple ticks. Hopefully your team's there, and then go. Start off. You're off to the races. And it looks like his HP is... Okay, his HP is good. During the maze is a good time to... Or before the maze starts is a good time to heal up a little bit if you are... if you're low HP. So, let's get in a little view on him. Make sure he's correctly praying. Don't worry about praying melee when you're, getting acclimated to Sotetseg. Just focus on the mage and the range prayers. Those are the ones that are going to kill you because they'll combo you out. If you miss a prayer, he will then disable your prayers for, I think, like 2 seconds, maybe 3 ticks. So just focus on mage and range. And nice, he goes to the correct tile for the DD. Round of applause for Jed. I don't know if my mic even picked that up. Hopefully you heard that. I clapped for him. I swear I clapped for him. So we are at the chest. At this point, Jed should be buying as many brews as he can, and maybe a shark or 2. Now, the reason you want to buy a shark or 2 is because if you're pretty comfortable with knowing how to combo eat, which is shark into the brew, then if you're getting, if you're taking a lot of damage, then it can be very useful to do a combo eat, and it can definitely save your life at Verzik, where there's a lot of opportunities where she can combo you out. So I think I look up his inventory here. Yes, I do. Hopefully I can find it. Blue, nice. So awesome. He has 2 sharks and 3 brews, it looks like. Oh, he's still buying. Hopefully he buys like 2 more brews here. Awesome. Yeah, that's actually probably the perfect inventory. 3 restores is plenty. And 4 or 5 brews and a shark or 2. That's a really good inventory for trying to learn Verzik. The brews will help you last, and the combo eats for when Verzik does some gnarly combos, or maybe you take a melee. So I like that inventory. Now for Xarpus, I think he's still on the ranging, which is that's probably what you're going to do for the first anywhere from 10 to 50 KC, depending on how fast you learn. And if you're trying to learn melee Xarpus, then the main prerequisite for that is being able to do melee on P2 of Verzik. It is the exact same cycle. It is, scythe 3 times, and then you're going to miss your 4th scythe. And unless you have melee down on Verzik, then you're probably not going to be doing melee at Xarpus. So it looks like he does a hammer, and then he runs away and starts T-bowing, which is awesome. And I'm actually glad he only did one hammer, because as soon as you do one hammer, ideally your teammates will be doing like 3 or 4 BGSs, and that should get him down to 0 defense most of the time. You never want to hammer after your team uses the BGS, and that's just kind of the nature of how reducing defense works, right? You're going to use percentage reducing, such as the Warhammer, before you use something that is it reduces based off your hit, right? So if something's 200 defense and you use your Warhammer, then if you hit, you're going to reduce 30%. So 30% of 200 is, like 65 or 70. And odds are you're not going to hit a BGS that high, right? Your average BGS is probably going to be like 30 to 40. So if the defense is below 100, then the BGS is going to be ideal. So Jed swings, and it was definitely a home run. He is in the dugout now. He is actually dead. Yeah. So you want to slow down, right? As soon as you see the screech, Schmidt says you can't park there. As soon as you see the screech, you want to slow down, wait for him to turn, and then attack, because you don't know where he's at in his cycle. He turns every 8 ticks, so if you see the screech, stop attacking, wait for him to turn, and then attack. And I should have done that. I should not have done that by the time I got there. Yeah, so he knows what his mistake is, which is, that's improvement 101. Identifying the mistake, figuring out why that happened, and then not doing it the next time. So now we are entering Verzik, and Jed's P1 was atrocious last time. He got hit from just being out in the open many times. I'm not sure how he did with the staff, but honestly, just hopefully this time around he is hiding behind the pillar when Verzik attacks, not greeting hits. If you don't know the cycle perfectly, you're just gonna get 1 scythe hit in, or maybe 2 whips. But that's the 2 main things that I want to see. I want to see that he does his Dawnbringer spec correctly, and that he's not taking hits in front of the pillar. So he goes back a little bit early. That's no. Okay, he's got a little bit of jukes. But he didn't take the hit, which is just good. I'm really happy with that. And he runs out. Okay, so he picks up the trident, and he runs to the boss. So you don't need to run to the boss if you have the trident. You can just stay by the pillar, and that's fine. Spec once, spec twice, and then run behind the pillar and drop the staff. So he does not drop the staff. As soon as you spec twice, you drop the staff. And it looks like I have to remind him. Minus 1 point. Okay, hopefully he doesn't take damage from the pillar falling. That was a problem last time. Looks like he gets out. Oh my goodness. That's enough. My mic turned off, but that was really good. I'm really happy with how he did a little bit of a little side step right there. And he dodged the pillar, which is awesome. That is ideal. Now, 4% left of the boss. Run behind. Will he dodge the pillar? 2 for 2 though. Oh my goodness. This man is like, good job, Jed. Good job. If you're watching this, good job. I'm very proud of you. So this might be the hardest part of the raid. P2. Learning how to do P2 is very frustrating. It's often a sticking point for new players, and he's running into crabs, which not ideal. But he hopefully will off the boss here. Nice. He'll heal up a little bit, slow down. I mean, he's doing exactly what I would do if I was learning, you know? Trying to heal up, get to a comfortable, safe range where you're not one-shot territory, and then hopefully getting back onto the boss. So, you know, he's missing a lot of ticks, but, you know, I said this in the last video. You're going to get carried, right? Don't focus as much on damage. The number one thing is that you're staying alive and you're trying to identify patterns, trying to see why am I getting knocked back? Why am I, you know, losing HP? So he's doing flawless here as far as improvement wise goes. It looks like he kind of understands that you want to attack and then step back. So he runs in and melees the crab. In case you don't know, you don't want to attack the crabs with your scythe. He takes another 65 from crabs. So it looks like one of his weak points is dealing with crabs, and rightfully so. Crabs are kind of difficult. If you're trying to learn what to do with crabs, just run away from them, and maybe your teammate can freeze them. I should be freezing them for him, but yeah, just run away from them and maybe kill it with your magic weapon if it's magic. So here, the protocol is when Verzik is healing, attack the crab twice. So he goes in for the melee. He thinks he's a medic, so you don't want to attack Verzik when her blue shield is up. That is the time you want to attack the crabs. And you want to get the crabs to about 20 HP. So it looks like he's getting a couple scythes in there. Nice. Nice, dude. Nice. Good. That's exactly what you want to do. Step back. Off, 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 off. Nice. No, no, you do not want to attack. See how everyone's attacking the crabs right now? When Verzik throws her red crabs out, attack the crab twice, wait for the blue shield to dissipate, and then attack Verzik. So now is the time to get back on the boss. Little step back action. Nice. He's doing some good damage. Good swings. Don't attack. Don't attack. Oof. You're killing me, Jed. But he offs. Nice. So this time he only healed her once, which is much better than twice or maybe even 3 times last time. So at this point he kills the crab, back onto the boss, and now we're at P3. Let's see who the tank goes on. I already know it goes on to him, which is kind of unlucky. So you have 2 options. Okay, if you are learning and you are tanking, you have 2 options. Option 1 is to run away, right? Don't face your problems. It's like bowling, you know? You got to put the gutters down and you got to face your fears. And so he decides to tank, which I respect. You know, that's it's an honorable move. I like it. So if you're going to tank and you're learning, the protocol is attack once and then run away, or attack once and then go under Verzik. And try not to melee your team. That's all people can really ask from you when you're learning to tank. I'll try to explain tanking a little bit more while we do webs, but basically Verzik attacks every 8 ticks. So there is a proper cycle in which sometimes you can get 2 attacks and sometimes you can only get 1 attack. But that's kind of a lot to ask for while learning. So when you're learning how to tank Verzik, attack once, go under, and as soon as you see Verzik's attack animation go off, then you can go back in for another attack. So at this point, it's not looking good. All the potions are off the ground. Let's see how he does for yellows. Okay, Jed is lost. Yeah, he's the dog in Varrock. He is very lost. When yellows come out, you want to stand on it. And hopefully if you're new, your team will, you know, give you the easy yellow, the one that's close to you. But yeah, if you don't stand on that, you're going to take 74 damage. So it's very important that you... Dude, Schmidt does a great combo eat there. Very nice. And he takes the ball. But yeah, yellows, you just got to stand on it. Otherwise, you'll take 74 damage, which is almost, you know, most of the time going to kill you. And it's not ideal. So looking like we're not going to get the KC. I should be potted up higher. I get very lucky there. The crab's gonna kill me, and I'm a goner. And Schmeat, my teammate, is also a goner. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I'm gonna hopefully do more episodes on this, and maybe we can get to the point where Jed can do hard mode top. I think that would be absolutely sick, and you can kind of go through his journey, and maybe you can relate to that journey and kind of liken it unto your journey. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe so I can tell my mom I'm cool. Okay, see you later.